We have been sheltered for more than 60 days, and it is inevitable to feel upset, bored, even dramatic. For this negativism can be avoided. Today I tell you that yes, you can get vaccinated against negativism in just 3 steps and without injections. Happy present moment and welcome to Jeanette Salvatierra TV. I'm your host, Jeanette Salvatierra. Like many of you, perhaps, in these days of shelter, as I have been participating in several video calls, and this past week I have to meet with some old schoolmates, and it was both very funny and very interesting for me, because I could observe how each person responds to this very particular situation from the quarantine. One of my friends, who I will call Karen, commented that she was tired of the confinement. Well, who does not? That all she did is cook, and she has gained 10 kilos from so much cake and dessert that she has baked. That her back hurts for bending over to pick up toys, fix closets and drawers, and that she has nothing more to do because she has already seen all new Netflix series, and she wasn't going to, or she will not going to lose her time watching all series or searching in other on-demand video services. To all this, another friend, to whom I will call Jolly, answered, "Well, I understand you, Karen. I have been also cooking and baking a lot of cakes and cupcakes. I have found some great recipes, sugar-free and using gluten-free flours, so you can not get so fat. I have also used my time to clean the house, and besides finding things that I thought were missed forever, I have been able to get enough of things to give away or throw away. So I made room to store my things better. Since there is nothing interesting in Netflix anymore, I started painting again. And Juancho, my husband, took pictures of my new watercolors, and he mounted them on Pinterest. And can you believe, people wrote me to buy the watercolors. I gave them a prize, thinking they won't buy me, but they didn't just buy, but also they sent me another potential client who wants me to paint a watercolor with a marine motif for her. Well, listening to Karen and Jolie, I marvel about how they were referring almost to the same situations, but in such a different way. Well, Jolie, the positive one, optimistic and grateful. Karen, well, somewhat quite negative. It may be you are wondering why some people tend to focus just on the negative. Is this a personality trait or a bad habit that we can change? Can we prevent this negativism or get vaccinated against negativity? I'll tell you, but before I ask you, please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications by clicking on the little bell, and then you will help me a lot, because in that way many more people will see these videos, and I will be able to fulfill my mission to inspire and empower and Also, if you like this video, give me a like and share it in your social media. Thanks in advance for your support. Well, now I answered the questions about negativity and how to avoid it. The first thing to say that may surprise you is that we are all negative as a natural behavior. The human brain tends to feel or to be prone to the negative as a kind of tool to detect situations that put our lives in risk. That is why we see long lines in the highway of curious drivers slowing down when an accident has occurred. This fascination of our brains for the negative is what some media use and some marketers too to get our attention. You may think that we can manipulate others, or that we can be manipulated when we are informed constantly about what we lose, or about the imminent dangers of risks. And precisely in these days of quarantines, we have been able to see how conspiracy theory has proliferated and risk alerts for not fulfilling the quarantine. The media seems tirelessly repeating over and over again the death tolls of the pandemics, because all this attracts public audiences, precisely making use from this propensity of our brain towards negativity, or how psychologists call it, negativity bias. So we all have this basic bias. Sure, some people either because of habit or lack of awareness deepen this bias and remain in negativism all the time. It doesn't mean that negative people has a problem that cannot be solved. They just have to work a little bit more with more frequency and consistency to neutralize this exaggerated negativity bias. There are several interesting findings on the negativity bias from the research that has been done on the subject. And I'm going to mention a couple of them that appears in the book of Roy Baumeister and John Turner called The Power of Bad. The first interesting or curious fact on the negativity bias is found in the education of children. It is more effective to rebuke and then reward than only reward. Many teachers and parents thought, I include myself, that children should not be criticized or give them bad grades with the infamous red marker, because children can be traumatized. But the proven reality from various psychological studies is that children learn more if they are corrected or reprimanded, and then they are rewarded when they do something right. And if you have to just choose one strategy, rebuking is the one that should be applied. Awesome, right? Another curious effect about negativity bias is found in couples relationships. Instead of identifying what are my qualities, what makes me a good catch, it is more useful to identify in what aspects I am lousy as a couple, and avoid those behaviors. In other words, do not do to your partner what you don't like to be done to you. For instance, can I refrain my tone when I am angry? If we are passing through certain economic shortages, can I avoid spending impulsively? The negative aspects rate the positive in a relationship. When your partner behaves negatively, then it's very important to respond intelligently. Do not fall in an unhealthy reciprocity, because the relationship can be affected without remedy. How to avoid negativity and can we be vaccinated against the excess of negativity in our brain? The answer is yes, you can. And I give you 3 steps to make it happen. The first is to be aware of negativity bias. You are already doing that just by watching this video. Great, huh? Know that we have that natural tendency, which basically exists to preserve our lives from what we should be not doing, allowed to not to control us. This is the first step to get vaccinated against the excess or damage of the negativity bias. The second recommendation, it is using our rationality to counteract these effects. Either one, asking the right questions, as in the example of the relationships, or 2, focusing your thoughts on the positive side of the life. The latter, you can do it, for example, through gratitude, strengthening the habit of appreciation by using the gratitude journal. It's not about being delusional like the famous Pollyanna of the movie. It's about observing broadly a negative situation, like the news in the media, and look for the positive aspects as a way to counterbalance the natural negativity bias of our brains. And the third recommendation is persevere in making your mind flexible. Remember, we're talking about a natural bias of the human brain. It will never completely disappear, and it is good to be so. But practicing consistently the above recommendations, you will be able to lose the grip of this bias and use this bias in your favor, in your relationships, in raising your children, in the consumption of news and advertisement, and in other areas of your life that you will be discovering by yourself with practice. Keep in mind that things are never so bad or negative as you think, or how you listen, or how you fear they are. Remember that your mind naturally leans to see, to pay attention, and to process the negative first. So getting hooked on negativity purposely is overreacting. So it is important to take time to become aware of everything good that is already in your life. Also, it is true that we live in hard times, but it's also true that in the last 50 years, the quality of our lives has increased. As humanity, we have avoided world wars. And if you're seeing right now, you probably or surely have internet to communicate, other options to take care of your health, to educate yourself, to entertain you, to travel, that don't exist 50 years ago. So we are privileged. And we can overcome this crisis with awareness, supporting each other with gratitude and love. Thank you for watching. Blessings for you and your work, and see you soon in an upcoming episode of Jeanette Salvatierra TV.